like, yeah, thanks, when is it fun? Yeah, woo, bring movies to America. Whatever.
What's the one thing about each other that's annoying?
He has this fold-out chair that he calls Jeff because Jeff Bridges gave it to him. You lost your license?
Yeah, I was speeding because I was listening to the soundtrack to Fallout.
Oh, Simon.
Hey guys, welcome to White's Camera Debate. This is the only show that tries to drive a stake through big-time Hollywood friendships. My guests today are Hayley Atwell and Simon Pegg, the stars of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And indeed, this is a final reckoning on your friendship today.
It seems
so
to
welcome.
be. Thanks for driving a wedge between me and my darling Hayley.
We'll
Hi,
see.
Josh. We'll see. We'll see. It's a pretty
Yeah.
strong bond.
Bring it on.
You had a good run, and this is where it ends. Let's start easy. What's the one thing about each other that maybe gets under your skin that you could cite as an annoying habit?
Oh! Hayley's rampant thievery. Atwell, we call
Don't
it.
judge what you don't understand. It's my process.
What is she thieving?
I've always kind of like regretted not like stealing things from set. Tell them what you got away with, Hayley.
Take it away. Aside from the poison pill and the cruciform key, which are kind of crucial props to the actual movie, I stole a salt and pepper shaker, an ashtray, a necklace, a watch, some unclassified documentation that I found in a drawer, some fossils, some fake glass, Tom's gym socks.
Okay, now we're getting weird. Yeah.
Well, there you
that's
go.
Not cool, guys.
That was our wrap party gift.
Yeah.
Tom just gives out his gym
Unused,
socks.
right?
Sure.
Unused. Mine were unused.
Well,
Debatable.
that's questionable. I mean, he's a very clean man. And then also a bottle of hot sauce the other night at the restaurant. It came in a brown bottle with a nice pipette, and I thought, I'll just bag that. And then, while I was interviewing with Tarzan the other day, I managed to, in the course of about 3 hours, steal his sunglasses, his phone, and his pinky ring from him in sort of real time, and then give them back to him in the interview. And his mind was pretty blown at the end of it. So.
This is bolted down, just so you know, so don't even think about it.
Just check your pockets.
What about Simon? Does he doesn't, he's a perfect human being, obviously. No bad habits, nothing.
So the thing with Simon, he's been in this franchise longer than I've been born. And it means he's so well prepped. See, he has this extraordinary fold-out chair that he calls Jeff because Jeff Bridges gave it to him.
Oh my God.
So proud.
We get
But it
it.
means every time like you're in an easy up, in an insane location like Middleton Mine or in the Arctic or in South Africa, you walk into this sort of easy up where there's like, you know, fans trying to keep you warm, not people, but like machines. People just
Imagine if that were the case.
just giving you hugs with their body heat. But Simon he's reclining in this beautiful chair. Sure. He's got all his layers on, and we're all just kind of sat there just in awe of him
On
on
those
our little
awful
rickety
director's
chairs.
yeah.
Well, thank you for standing for 15 minutes for us today.
Well,
This
you
is
know,
true.
only
This is
for
tough.
you, Josh.
Who can do the better, flat, sad American accent?
That's sad. I don't know.
With
like,
the vocal
maybe
fry,
the
you
vocal
mean?
fry.
Doing
Seriously,
a podcast
I don't
from
know.
LA.
I have at your podiums each, there's a card with one of your iconic lines. Can you give it to me in your best American accent?
I could do this all day.
Perfect.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain.
Oh, it's quite camp. I like that.
It was very camp. It's a hard accent to do, American, because it's very gymnastic. You guys really chew everything. Our vowels are so flat, it's really easy to talk like this all the time, you know?
Thing is, though, I have to say, why don't you pronounce the H in herb?
Herb.
Do you
Herbs.
say
Herbs. I
herb?
don't. I would sound
Because you
crazy.
wouldn't say, like, I live in an house.
No. Well, you would if you're a Cockney. You gotta live in an house.
I live in an house.
Okay.
But
I'm
Cockney will
outnumbered.
say
I get
herbs.
it, guys.
Why do you?
You're on my
while we're
home
at
turf,
it,
though.
why do you subtract letters from words like aluminium, which becomes aluminum, and colour, which is just color? Is it because you're lazy?
You want to...
Let's move on.
I've lost
You're
America.
in
I've
America
lost
right now.
America.
This is-
But why do you say an eggplant as opposed to an aubergine? Aubergine has like gravitas and it has flair.
Right.
But an
Yeah.
eggplant, it's a bit...
Yeah.
I
And
was
what the
thinking
f is
something a bit-
cilantro? We're driving a wedge between you.
It's two against one.
Yeah, joke's on you, Josh.
Damn it. Who's got the better music taste?
Well, I wouldn't say it's better. I would say it's just extensive knowledge of.
Right.
I've been
and
around. long.
undeniable. Your ability to like talk about the cultural importance of a sub-genre in a particular summer of 1983 that also reflects a time in your life where you're getting into like bum bags, or whatever it was you were wearing at the time.
Yeah.
Like but it's anthropological with Simon, so it's sort of, it's music, but then it's history and it's geography and it's like social.
Right.
It's really fascinating.
I can tell you what the Beatles had for breakfast the morning they wrote certain songs.
Do you know what band Simon played with at Glastonbury?
Coldplay.
Well done.
You say played, I went like this, with a tambourine.
It was a cold play.
It was a very cold
Classic
play.
Coldplay with Coldplay.
Yes.
What song did Hayley perform on Lip Sync Battle?
Oh no.
Oh my God, I don't know. I didn't see that.
Because it means people might look at it.
Show a clip. Show a
No,
clip.
don't.
Let's have a look at a clip.
I watched it and I went, am I okay?
It's amazing. It was, of course,
Bad Romance.
Oh, by flippin' Gaga.
Came out of an egg. And I had
committed.
like this latex crown on and a cat suit.
Holy, I'm getting on
And I did it
YouTube.
and I went, I feel violated. Like I felt like I'd violated myself
I
doing
can't believe you
that.
came out of an egg.
An eggplant.
an aubergine.
I came out of an aubergine.
If you both texted Tom Cruise right now, who would he respond to first? Whose friendship is more solid?
Oh, it's always a bit of a gamble with Tom. Sometimes he'll get straight back to you, and sometimes it takes days. It just depends where he is, I guess.
Yes, but also, do you remember when he'd opened or closed the Paris Olympics?
Yeah.
And he had done that amazing stunt, and then he got on the bike, and I'd watched it, and I obviously knew that when they cut to him being in America, that wasn't in real time. So I'm not spoiling anything here, but I texted, I was like, that was amazing. And then he texted, like, yeah, thanks, what is it, fun? Yeah, woo, bring movies to America. But so enthusiastic and lovely about it, and I was like, you must still be there. How are you texting?
He's probably still
me
hanging
now?
off the rope.
He was hanging off a rope. But do you get when he texts, instead of emojis, he does lots of exclamation marks and then like the colon and a bracket?
Yeah, he's old
as a
school.
Smiley face. I love that. The dots and
We
the
should
dots.
explain emojis to him at some point.
We explained Zaddy to him the other day.
Oh, you did, yes.
You received the fabled cruise cake, yes?
Yes.
5 of them.
I was going to say, does someone receive more than the other? You receive
Can you
multiples?
imagine about 5 in one Christmas?
I get one on my birthday, and we get a gingerbread house at Christmas. But here's the kicker: I was snowboarding in the Alps, and the people who ran the chalet I stay with, Andy and Lorraine, they came out with this amazing chocolate birthday cake for me because it was my birthday, and they said, "This is from Tom." I said, "What do you mean?" He called a bakery in Tonon, which is a tiny village at the bottom of the mountain. Took him about 15 minutes to believe that it was him. Got them to make a cake, and they bust it up the mountain to me and delivered it to me on my birthday. Checkmate.
I'll just say, if either of you can get me on the cruise cake list, you automatically win this competition
Oh, okay.
today.
Okay.
Sure.
So-
Well, I mean, I tend to slice them up and put them in a bag and put them in the freezer.
Right.
Although I did come down one day and my husband was eating it out of the bag, frozen. And he's like, oh, it's even good frozen. It's great.
It is an amazing cake.
It's an amazing cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
so-
get you a slice of mine.
Thank you, I'll take it.
What can you get him?
Some iconic Tom Cruise lines over the years. These are really basic. Let me see if you can finish this line, okay? Hayley, you can't handle...
The truth!
Yeah, I was gonna give bonus points for delivery and you just got it. Simon, I feel the need.
The need for speed.
I think delivery goes.
The need
Okay, there
for speed! There you go.
Imagine if it was actually like, for a nap.
Yeah, right, like he'd ever...
That was the first take.
I've seen him nap.
What? Stop it.
In your
He
chair?
won't thank me for saying that. Yeah.
Was it really intense napping?
He was like that. Okay, let's go!
For either of you, sometimes you gotta say, do you remember this? Early cruise roll.
Sometimes
Little
you go-
tough.
Oh, it's from Risky Business, and it's when he puts the sunglasses on. Okay.
Okay, yeah, he says, he's,
Close, close. What the?
what the
What? That's
I
it.
love it when Tom swears.
Yeah. It's great.
If Benji is the heart of the franchise, what body part is Grace?
The liver. Hayley is the lungs, because without them, you just can't survive. Maybe she's the kidneys. I don't know.
He just needs one.
She's the duodenum.
Can either of you show me the best technique for ripping off your face?
I mean, you decide, Josh. What's better? Let's
Okay,
do it.
okay,
ready?
1, 2, 3.
It's the idea that you couldn't, if you've ever worn prosthetics, they glue that stuff on. You could never just rip a mask off without being in extreme pain and leaving bits of it stuck to your face. That's the least believable thing about Mission Impossible, I think. But I love that we've stuck to it. I love that, you know, we've held our nerve with it.
It's charming. I think it's delightful to see it. There's often they're done like in such a sort of analogue way.
Yeah.
And they're always a fun setup.
Who's the face you want to reveal? We'll put it in post really shittily.
Jack Loudon.
Okay, let's see it, and we'll add Jack Loudon afterwards. Here we go.
Oh my God, Jack Loudon.
Hello, I'm Scottish.
Who do you want to be revealed to be?
Oh, Angela Bassett, please.
All right, let's try it out.
Queen Anne.
An
Angela.
icon.
Wow, my queen. She's got so much sass, that woman. She's amazing.
Power, she's just.
By the way, I have no idea if we'll be able to execute that. I just figured I'd try.
It'll be really tinky. It'll be rubbish.
Finally, riding a motorcycle off a cliff.
I'd ride a cliff off a motorcycle.
Riding a motorcycle off a cliff. Who's better equipped?
Who's Cliff?
I don't know, Cliff Richard, the singer.
I'd ride a motorcycle off Cliff.
Off the actual
Richard.
cliff. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to ride motorbikes. My wife said so.
Yeah.
You're your own man.
Fine, I will do it.
Are you?
I'm also banned from driving at the moment for speeding.
Oh, did you? I got
I
it.
lost my
Yeah. Well,
licence.
that's. You lost your license?
Yeah, for a year.
Oh, Simon.
I was speeding because I was listening to the soundtrack to Fallout.
Stop it.
And it was going
Right, I believe him.
and I was on the A1 just, I gotta do 90.
But do you know, because in London they changed all the roads to 20
That's
miles
why.
an hour, and that was deceiving.
It used to be 30, right? This is really boring. It used to be 30, and then they changed them all to 20 for pedestrian safety. That's fine. You forget because you're used to driving 30. You get points on your license every time you get fined, right? And you go over 12 points, and that's a ban.
So it's not hard to do it, and I think there should have been a grace period.
Yeah.
Of a few months.
Grace
You're a
period.
grace period.
So to speak. Ugh.
Oh no, I didn't mean that. I meant an epoch, as opposed to a.
I do feel
An
like-
Ewok. God, it's just getting.
Always comes back to Star Wars with him. It does feel like if you're in a Mission Impossible film, you should have dispensation to go 5 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I get let off
We
sometimes
feel the
by
need
cops.
for speed too.
Ever since I did Hot Fuzz, I get let off minor crimes by cops. And I thought, I'm going to ace this. I wound down the window, gave them the look. Nah. Ticket.
Final reckoning on this relationship. Who won this? Is the relationship intact? Is the friendship
Hayley
still?
wins all the time. Hayley is for the win.
Hayley Atwell for the win.
And that's why we will always be friends.
You know
who's
who's the winner.
superior.
Congratulations on the film, guys. Always good to see you both.
Thank you
Joss.
very much.
Such a pleasure.
We did it. All right.
All right, off we go.